Guys, we just got some new Resident Evil 4 Remake news confirming that side quests will indeed be in the game, as well as new enemies, an in-depth breakdown of Ashley's gameplay, and a lot more. So stick around, cause we're about to get straight into this. So they start off by saying that the head developers of the game didn't even want to remake Resident Evil 4 due to the original game being nearly perfect already, with the only reason that they're actually remaking the game being that it was so highly requested by fans. After deciding that they were indeed gonna remake the game, the developers went back and played the game and picked out some of the things that needed improvement, and after replaying the game they felt that they could indeed do the game justice, and that rather than starting from scratch, they would be taking the game's most important elements and dialing them up to 11, and thus the development on the Resident Evil 4 remake began. And the developers stated that replayability and flexibility were both important key pillars to the game's development, and this is where we actually get into the new info about the game, with Game Informer stating that Chapter 1 begins with Leon trekking through a eerily moonlit forest path leading to a remote village in rural Spain. Now a military-trained government agent, he's on a mission to locate Ashley, who's believed to be held captive somewhere in the area by a sinister group for an unknown purpose. The magazine goes on to read, "I enter the first cabin where the original game begins. There are more rooms and items to uncover, such as ammo, hidden herbs, and even locks requiring keys. The cabin is also much spookier, giving me my first taste of the game's darker atmosphere. Though the tone feels more oppressive, Leon's cornball attitude remains intact. Expect quips such as 'bill me for the repairs later' to help cut some of the tension." I think it's great that they're keeping some of the cheesy dialogue in the game and not just cutting all of it out to make the game darker toned. There will be multiple new death sequences where Leon gets killed by Dr. Salvador, with one of them being Dr. Salvador driving his thumbs brutally through Leon's eyeballs. And next up, a new addition to the game are side quests. There are numerous different side quests that you could do, such as puzzles and a lot more. Moving on, there's a section about the merchant which reads, "What are you buying?" The beloved shopkeeper is back, and on top of being chattier, he offers more to players this time around. In addition to buying and selling weapons, you can now trade jewels for items such as treasure maps, yellow herbs that raise maximum health, and special weapons and mods like the laser sight. And attaché cases could have different perks now, such as increasing ammo drops and more. You'll also visit the merchant to turn in side quests. I find that interesting that you'll be able to go to the merchant to turn in side quests, so maybe you'll be able to get some kind of reward out of doing them. And then we return to the gameplay part of the magazine, which reads, "Soon I come face to face with my first Ganado, one of the many villagers whose bodies are hijacked by Las Plagas, a parasitic creature granting increased strength, durability, and other freaky tricks. His head rests on his shoulder at a gruesome angle. This visual isn't just a horrific touch. The magazine goes on to state that a broken neck is a sign that a Ganado is in the later stage of infection, and that means that it's not only stronger, but you're more likely to see it perform its signature trick, ejecting a mass of pulsating flesh tentacles from the neck that can eviscerate Leon with their scythe-like appendages. But ground executions such as stabbing and shooting their heads while they're down will stop the Plaga from forming. This is referring to the exposed Plaga that we see in the original game, and it will indeed be returning in the remake. The magazine goes on to state that there's a new quick weapon select feature in which up to 8 firearms, knives, and grenades can be equipped and swapped out on the fly. They go on to say that a traditional reticle replaces the pistol's laser sight from the original game, but you will be able to purchase a laser sight from the merchant. They go on to state that there's a dodge mechanic in the game similar to the Resident Evil 3 remake, and you could use it to get away from enemies who are attacking you. Then the developers state that there will be no QTEs in the game, although we did get this information quite a bit ago as well. And as for Ashley's gameplay, they say that the R3 button will be used to command Ashley, and she could either follow closely behind or fall back, but she will not remain in one place. And she will not have a health bar, but she can be damaged, and if she takes too much damage, she'll need to be revived, and if attacked again once you revive her but she doesn't heal up, she will die. So you will need to keep a closer eye on her and her health, and there will also be no dumpsters that she could hide in, and she will be quite a bit less annoying than she was in the original game. And the new weapon known as the bolt thrower that has been added to the game is a crossbow type weapon that you will be able to pick up from the merchant, and there will be many new enemies in the game, but one of them has already been revealed to wield a hammer and wear a bull mask over his face. And Luis will be a lot more intelligent during the cabin fight, and he will feel more like an ally than in the original. And during the house sections of the game, you will be able to barricade the windows similar to how you could in the Resident Evil 2 remake. And you could also have multiple different knives at once in the game, but Leon's is the only one that gets special perks and can be repaired. And now with all that being said, that's about all we got for today, so see ya. Well, there you have it, guys. All the new Resident Evil 4 Remake news from the Game Informer magazine. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. And if you're feeling extra generous, please be sure to hit the join button down below for members-only perks. And now, with all that being said, I'll see you all on the next episode of Bagels Battles!